So today we're going to talk about one of the real P1 incident which happened in our project recently. I wanted to share where in this application, right? I took the ownership which comes under me. So end to end, right? Myself and my team, right, worked on fixing this and identifying the issue. Which something one of the interesting issue I never faced in my 14 years of DevOps career. So I wanted to really share these things, which happened, a couple of weeks before. Last week itself, I planned to share, but due to last week I got some last minute work, I couldn't share, so I postponed it to this week. Okay. So, real P1 incident in DevOps project. How this gonna help you is you will get one new visionary way of thinking. If any you are get into any issue, right? Usually we'll check few things. This is something out of box, I would say. I never face something. So you will also start think on that perspective. Another thing, this is Kubernetes and Redis cache based troubleshooting case study. Okay. So many of the e-commerce based application, online selling applications, right, uses this setup most. Okay. That is where, and if you go for attending an interview also, if they ask for any recent root cause analysis, probably you can explain the scenario to them. That definitely, right, will add more value to it. Okay. So with that incident, I'll get started. So basically, right, this is our production architecture. Like I have not taken much time for designing and all, but whenever user, right, when they are accessing one of our e-com application, so that application, it's similar like our Flipkart, Amazon only. Okay. So this application is running on Europe-based European customer. Okay. So typically like our Flipkart and Amazon only. So what happened? Users usually hit our application load balancer. That load balancer behind the scene is connected with the Kubernetes ingress. So we have a API parts. Okay, API parts in the sense the something which is front-facing part. Okay, here in the API part, your front-facing application is loading. This API part, right, using cluster IP, it's connected with the Redis part in the backend and Postgres DB in the backend. Okay, this is the application architecture. So of course, my client, right, suddenly they are facing application as issue exactly when we have a release actually. Okay, Saturday, yeah, exactly Saturday we had a change. There are new feature, a new interface has been introduced in our ecom application. So what happened? So once the developer did all the changes, they pushed the code. Exactly when we are deploying the dev and all, it was working fine. Our production deployment was happening. So we are pushing our new code to our production. So when we are pushing our new code to production, right, there exactly our problem started. Okay. So there exactly our problem started. The incident time, right, somewhere around 6:45 p.m. deployment successful in the Jenkins. Yes, we use Jenkins as a pipeline. So we got somewhere around 6:45 our deployment success in the Jenkins. Within 10 minutes, right, we are getting response from our customer. Okay. They are not able to log in. They are facing, slowness in the application. System is, unstable. Like usually we'll have some setup, right? Totally. We are getting lots of requests from European, clients. So what happened? This is their production critical application. Based on this, only their customer used to log into their page and order their product and everything. So what happened? As usual, P1 bridge, right, started. Our development team, DevOps team, application development, infrastructure team, everybody was joined into the bridge call. Even we got a client joined from our European side also. Okay, from EU side, they have joined. Okay. So as usual, right, we are very clear. After deploying the new change only, after deploying the new code only, the issue is started, right? Everyone's expectation is like that. What is the expectation? No issue. Always, whenever we go for deploying the production change, we are always ready for the rollback. What does mean by rollback? We'll roll back into the previous state because previous state was in working condition. Correct? Every people's mindset would be like issue happened after the new release. Exactly, the new release is the problem. Within 10 minutes, we are facing an issue means what? Whatever the changes we pushed, only that is causing an issue. So everyone, what we will do? We will go for rollback. Rollback means we are bringing it back to the previous state. So what I did, I asked my, one of the senior DevOps guy to roll back the change. Rollback has been triggered successfully. But here the tricky part, right? We didn't even expect that. Production issue still remains. Production issue still remains. We all shocked because whenever we plan for a production release or production change, something we are doing it in the prod level, or one hope, if something not going good, every cap call, right, we'll get a question. Hey, this is not going good. What is your plan? We'll simply roll back. This is our rollback strategy. This is our rollback plan. Here, what I did, the production change was not going good as expected. Our entire world, they blindly believe rollback. I strongly went ahead and rolled back the changes, whatever I did. After moving to the previous state also, the issue continuing and remains same. I don't even know what to do next because our RTO and RPO is right, very critical. In this situation, right, we are we not even sure, like we push the change, not working, we are reverted, again not working. What? There is no other backup. We are trying with the backup, again not working. So we have deleted this particular API part and recreated. So nothing working. So here exactly, I got a call, like coming to the picture. So we are started, right, troubleshooting. As part of troubleshooting, what all things I suggested. So first, right, we went into the Kubernetes. We gave the kubectl get pod command. We saw all the API and the Redis pod and all the Postgres related DB pod, all the deployments and stateful set, everything showing healthy. Another biggest issue. After rollback, I'm telling. Okay. After rollback, everything showing us healthy. So rollbacks to previous version, right? No change. There is no impact. Even though I am rolling back to the previous version, again the same error. Okay. Earlier, before deploying the change, it is working. 6:45 nearly we deployed. Till 6:30 it's working. After 6:45, it's loading, application loading, nothing happening. Check the load balancer and target configured routing. Whether is there any changes in the routing? Is there any router in the backend load balancer? Load balancer, Kubernetes node health, everything right, target, everything right, showing good. So then I went, casual check, whatever the worker node available, right? I checked the memory, CPU, disk. I checked in our monitoring tool. There is no, previous issue detected. CPU utilizations are normal. Memory is normal. Disk is having enough bandwidth and space. Again, this part also, fourth step also seems good. Fifth step, we validate the DB performance. Okay. From the front end to back end, connectivity is absolutely perfect. There is no issue. DB pod also healthy, up and running. We are able to ping to the DB and we are able to get the connection response. We are able to read from the DB. Everything is working as expected. DB side also performance up to the mark. So final last hope, we'll go ahead and review the application log. When I'm checking the application log, there is not even one error actually. Only we can see the error, what we have changed, we have done and reverted, right? Only that events are occur. That is also information and warning only. Nothing, major error, critical, nothing. Again, I don't know like what to do because all the pod and Redis pod and Kubernetes front-end API pod and back-end DB pod, everything up and running and healthy. Even I deleted the deployment, recreated some of the pod, even new creation pod also not loading my application. Rolling back to previous state also nothing helping. Load balancer and target group, everything showing us healthy. Routing, everything is proper, perfect and proper. Even verifying the node log, metric, CPU, disk, everything right seems good. There is no issue with that area. DB is available. We are able to read. We are able to query the DB. Performance is good. There is no issue with the database also. Final hope application log also nothing helped for us. Okay. So production issues still persist. All common infrastructure application check right. Everything smooth. Still we even need a further deep dive discussion required. So I'm stopping here. Anyone has any clue like what would be the issue even after going and crossing all these issues, checking all this possibility? Any guess from anyone? What could be the possibility? Okay, no worries, because I understand this is one of the unexpected issue. So I even know, even initially I was also get confused. So if you go a little back, right, this is our architecture I was showing. Here we use Redis. In our application, I told you, user coming to the ALB ingress, they are coming to the application. Redis, right, here using it for cache. Many of the ecom based application, we are using Redis. Not only we, many of the ecom based application, right, they are using Redis actually. So whenever customer opens the page or check out the page, right, your application will go and check for the Redis. Whether the Redis, it has some, cache content. Redis means it's a cache. It's everything stored in the memory actually. Memory means RAM. Okay, it will not store it in hard disk. All the process, right, caching process, everything and done on top of the RAM. So whenever a user, opens the page, web application, it will go and check the Redis, whether any cart is there, okay, any session data is there. If any cached information is there about the particular user, right, it will return back. So instead of going to the actual application and retrieving from the cache, if you are retrieving it will be even more faster, because nowadays modern people requires much faster and smarter solutions, right? There and all Red is playing a crucial role. Okay. So in general, right, what happened? This particular Redis, right, when are releasing the new code, my dev team has sent huge payload to this Redis actually. Usually the user card example, imagine usually my Redis cache is count kind of a 2. My new release, our development team, right, send the huge payload. Okay, they were adding for testing and performance testing they do. Without changing the payload configuration, they are updated that Redis actually. Okay, so that is where we got the critical breakthrough actually. So what is the breakthrough? When we go for deeper analysis, the critical breakthrough, how we got the clue is the response time, right? That is right dragging actually. My application is not down. It is taking long time to load. Okay. Latency spike overhead actually. Okay. The response time 200 minutes to 15 seconds. Okay, which became critical. We got it one of the monitoring tool. Request is literally hanging. Okay. It's waiting before reaching to the TB, right? It's waiting, which means it's still searching something in the Redis cache. Okay. So we would need a deeper Redis analysis. So we went ahead and we checked on Redis. What happened? The new release, what we did, that is a huge payload went to the Redis. The entire memory, right, was occupied. So all the rollback, everything we did, okay, but only the front end part it's rolled back. The Redis part, right? Even though my previous setup came, still my Redis cache occupies, right? That is still remains same only. Redis became slow again and again. Even though we rolled back, nothing changes happened in the Redis side. Okay, the cache is fully occupied. Okay, so that is the reason even we roll back, still we are facing an issue that current new version also application was slow and keep on loading, nothing response. Even rollbacking previous also still referring to the hanged Redis cache actually. Okay, that is where the problem come into the picture. Okay, so the Redis still had a bad or large cache data. Okay, which is already stored. Even we roll back the changes code, that really not helped actually. Okay. So when we are rollbacking, right, it usually it does not automatically delete the existing cache data. It will just the front end side only it will roll back. But but the Redis side still contains the oversized cache actually. That was the issue. Okay. So what we did, right? We went. We have cleared all the session data. We found a Redis memory full. Okay, so we have deleted and recreated the Redis related resource. We restored the Redis cache. Then we identify that was the issue. So the root cause and resolution, right? Stateful cache overloaded persists after rollback. The stateful problem, oversized payload returned to Redis, our development team. Okay, rollback failed, state remained. New release wrote large payload. When I'm rollbacking, right, that did not help me well. So immediate action, what we did, deleted the impacted cache. In the Redis, we deleted the impacted cache, restarted the cache part. The Redis part, right, we restarted. So this will delete the impacted cache and restart the pod. Okay. So verified it's recovered. After we did this changes, the latency became normal. The functionality, right, working as expected. Okay. Every time what we do, whenever there is an issue in the change window, right, we'll always think for rollback, but the rollback also didn't help. This was the another issue. We never even think the Redis gives us the problem. Okay. So end of the thing, right? What lesson we learned? So it doesn't mean if your healthy pod, right, your pod, everything front end is showing running and healthy, there is no error means literally, right? It doesn't mean that your application is healthy. Point number one. Always don't keep in your mind, rollback will fix your issue. Okay. So if something happened, yeah, we can roll back it. It doesn't mean that till that last 14 years, I was in the mindset says, okay, if anything happened, I can roll back it. Even my change approver also was in that mindset. Cache layer can be hidden failure point. If you are using Redis, right, that could be your hidden failure point. Okay, never underestimate. Okay, just a cache, right? Okay, don't tell that it's just a cache. Don't do and don't tell like that. So that could be your hidden point of failure. Because I agree, it's not a frequent issue. Once in 5 years, 10 years, your cache give you a problem. But we cannot take that in light way. In your application architecture, whatever component is there, right? Each and every component is very much crucial. Don't tell like it's cache, right? Don't tell like that because many of the environment people are giving priority to DB, front end, API, everything. But cache, right? They'll consider very less point because that's additional for performance. Observability and runbook reduce the MTTR, which means I forgot the full form. So when the observability, like when your log and monitoring, right, that will reduce your application quickness. Okay. Any questions so far? Any questions? So mean time to recovery. Okay, MTTR mean time to recovery, which means so how long it takes to recover the application. Once the incident happened, right? How long it time to recover the service. So that is something MTTR. So always you need to make sure have a monitor your Redis also. So that will help you to fix your issue. Okay. This is one of the interesting root cause which I faced recent time. So I would like to share this with you. Okay. So later, right after we restart the Redis cache and pod, everything was working and normal. This really took nearly 2 hours for us to restore it. So I submitted the root cause analysis RCA with that incident. So moving forward, right, we'll give priority to each and every component in our environment. All right.